first began discerning religious life, a priest gave me a beautiful piece of advice. He told me to pay special attention to inspirations given when I was in the presence of the Blessed Sacrament, because time spent with Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament, it's a particularly grace-filled time when Jesus delights in making himself more deeply known to us. This was great advice. And when I look back at all the most pivotal graces and defining moments in my relationship with the Lord thus far in my life, this principle has always held true, that most of the major graces I've received have come when I was in the presence of Jesus in the Eucharist. And I want to share just one of those many graces with you today. This story actually takes place before I began formally discerning religious life, but it laid the foundation for my vocation. When I was in high school, the Lord placed on my heart this desire to attend Mass more frequently, not just Sunday Mass or the weekly school Mass at my Catholic school, but to go to Mass on other days as well. Logistically, that was a bit difficult, however, because daily Mass in my hometown was at 7:30 in the morning, so it wouldn't finish until after school had already started. So I kind of set this desire aside until summer came. And then a week or so into the summer, I again approached the idea of attending daily Mass. But I was a teenager, and it was now summer. So all of a sudden, 7:30 sounds really early in the morning. So I told the Lord, maybe we'll just wait another week or two before jumping into this daily Mass thing. Catch up on sleep from the busy school year, and then I'll think about daily Mass later. However, in my prayer, I added this caveat. I told the Lord that if I happened to be awake early enough, I would come to Mass. Well, the next morning, I found myself wide awake at 6:30 in the morning. And there was this gentle voice in my heart asking, "Won't you come spend time with me?" I figured since the Lord had been so courteous as to wake me up on time, I should probably follow through on my end. So I said, yes, Lord. And I went to Mass that morning. The next day, the same thing happened. 6:30 came around, and I was wide awake. And again, just this gentle invitation, "Won't you come spend time with me?" Yes, Lord. The third day came around, and I woke up at 6:30. At this point, I turned to the Lord in prayer, and I'm like, "Jesus, I get the idea. You want me to be at daily Mass, so I will come. And tomorrow, you don't need to wake me up. I'll go ahead and set my alarm clock." I kept saying yes to daily Mass, to this invitation from the Lord throughout that summer. And as school approached, I went to my principal, and I actually got permission to come to school a few minutes late each day so that I could continue to attend daily Mass throughout the school year as well. And this experience of daily saying yes to the Lord slowly began to really transform my heart. This daily yes to the Lord who had actually first said yes to me, right? Who said yes to dying for love of me, and who instituted the Mass, the sacrifice of the Mass, to give perpetual access to that sacrifice, that yes of love. So slowly, this reciprocal yes was transforming my heart. And a year or two later, when the Lord made his big ask and invited me to consider religious life, I realized that I was becoming the sort of person who wanted to say yes to the Lord. I wanted my life to be a yes to the Lord. And so I was able to say yes to this crazy and beautiful adventure of religious life because the grace of the Lord's Eucharistic presence had carried me to that yes. So it really is true that time in the presence of Jesus in the Eucharist is a especially grace-filled time where the Lord wants to make himself more deeply known to us.